Hey Virgos, and welcome to your May 2017 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky, and I'm here to give you guys hopefully another great, amazing reading for your month ahead in May. I've just been laughing all day, and I've been, I don't even know, I've been completely clumsy and ditzy and just all over the place. So, very Sagittarian, as I do have a lot of things in Sagittarius, so I feel that you guys are here too. You guys are kind of like regretting some kind of embarrassing thing that happened to you. I had gone to get coffee before I did your reading, or before I began to do your reading, and it was just a mess, Virgos. Let me tell you, I had pulled up to the window and I had like, the barista gave me my change and I like drop it out my car window and it lands on the ground and I like open my door quickly as the barista was like reaching out and I like knock them in the face kind of with my car door, and it was bad. It was bad, Virgos. And I was, for some reason, I couldn't help but think of the Virgos that I know, strangely enough, because you guys are like the most graceful, elegant people that never ever do things like that happen to. And I'm like thinking, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing, and I'm like blushing, and I like reach down, and I try to like reach out of my car and reach down to pick up my change, and the dollar bills start blowing in the wind, and the cars behind me are impatiently waiting to get their morning cup of coffee, and it was bad, okay? And don't even get me started on the technical difficulties that Mercury in retrograde has come at me like vengefully with and trying to get these readings uploaded this month, but I have taken the challenge and I have still made it at a slightly adjusted deadline, but timely, I feel. So you guys are in a difficult place, and humor will do you good right now, okay? It is good to laugh at yourself. I could have been very embarrassed. I mean, I was not dressed nicely, but I still got out and picked up my money. You should do the same, Virgos. I wasn't prepared for the rest of the world to see me in that state, but I thought, you know, it can't be good to just let money blow around in the wind. You never know where that'll end up. And I didn't want for someone to like pick up that money and then go deposit it in the bank, and then somebody else comes through the ATM and withdraws the money, and then have that bad luck on them and something horrible like that happens to them. I know it's such a first world problem, but I'm trying to make you guys laugh because you need that, because I could sit here and talk to you guys about how difficult things have been, because they have been for you. You've had a lot of fear. You've had a lot of things that you've not expected. I don't know, you're successful. You're getting there. You're getting to a place where you can start a new chapter. You're getting to a place where you are ready to travel, ready to change, ready to embark on a new journey. But you feel very trapped by something, or you feel like something deteriorates your ability to manifest in the future, or your ability to magnetize that person that you've always wanted. Something feels off here. Something feels strange. And I think it would be best for you guys to be humorous, and it would be best to, you know, step out, you know, if you're in a part of the globe that is as nice as where I'm at right now. You know, this time of year is beautiful here. You have like the honeysuckles and fireflies out at nighttime, and it's kind of rainy and it's balmy. It's like a 75 degrees Fahrenheit, kind of humid, and it gets really foggy and misty, and it's just the most beautiful sensory experience that I can ever imagine. My favorite time of year during this Taurus time. It only lasts about 3 weeks before the honeysuckles die and the fireflies start to die. But when you walk outside at nighttime and there's just a mist and you can feel the wetness in the air and you smell the honeysuckles and see the fireflies, there is no wound deep enough that cannot be somewhat healed by that experience. So you need to find experiences like that, Virgo. You need to find something that reminds you that magic is real, or that something more profound than your pain does exist, okay? Because you guys really aren't one to wallow in pain, not at all. In fact, if there's any sign that I can think of in the zodiac that deserves to just have a good cry, it's probably you, because when you guys are hurt, you just become like major workaholics and taskmasters, and you start like, when a Virgo has the best schedule in the world, you know that they have been through like the worst pain in their life. You know, I have a very close Virgo friend who went through a horrible divorce, difficult, very destructive relationships, most organized person I've ever known, cleanest, you know, surroundings, nicest house, everything perfect, and just in utter chaos. It's the nature of your sign, because you're about to go into Libra after Virgo, and you're preparing for that contrast of, you know, Anyway, that's you're thinking about that this month, and you have to realize the luck that is on your side right now, Virgos. You have to realize the power that comes in and the allies that you do have at the end of the day, even if it's only yourself, which can be the strongest ally, but you have new people coming in. If you don't already have a strong backbone of people ready to support you, that comes in May. So anyway, I'm going to start looking at this reading from the week to week basis, and we'll get more specific on what's coming in for you. So week number 1, Virgos, King of Pentacles reversed, rooted down by 8 of Swords reversed. You are thinking of an ex, or you are thinking of somebody from your past, or somebody who is still in your present but only reminds you of the past, and wants you to kind of be trapped by that. That's all that it is in the first week, to be honest. It's good though, because you can't do anything to ignore it. Like, you can't just create like an amazing surroundings or a DIY project, or make like your itinerary or calendar so perfect that this problem goes away. It doesn't. You have to look at yourself here, and you can so easily come out of it, because 8 of Swords I feel is better reversed than it is upright. As a lot of these more heavy archetypes that I talk about, like the Devil or the 10 of Swords, when they're reversed, it's like you're not aware so much that they're happening. So when they come into awareness, it's a lot easier to make the connection and change it, versus when some of these more heavy archetypes are upright. For me as a reader, it's like, you know, it's there, but you don't quite understand how to solve it. And so this is good. You can finally not have an excuse or something that distracts you from it. You see it and you change it, and all of a sudden you step into the second week, Virgo, 9 of Cups rooted down by the Fool reversed. You realize the people around you, and you kind of call on help from people, or it could be like spirit guides or angels, whatever you believe in that sense. Something comes to your aid in the second week. I feel that you might also be doing something for your health in the entire month of May, but maybe starting in the second week, because I think that you feel like your health is connected to this feeling of being trapped with the 8 of Swords reversed. And, you know, do recall, Virgos, that the first 4 letters of health is heal. So there has to be some kind of healing that does take place when you're prioritizing your health. If you've gone on some kind of new fad diet, or you have started some kind of major new health regimen, great. Not so much fad diets, but any kind of prioritization of your health is great. But if you're keeping your head in the difficult territory, or not choosing to leave a very negative situation, you can't heal, therefore you can't really be healthy. You know what I mean? But there is something that kind of feels like in the second week that you're not so easily prepared to like embark on brand new chapters or brand new adventures, because the Fool is reversed here. That is major arcana, and you know, both of your major arcana cards are reversed this month. So you don't feel like you have any expectation of the universe. You don't know when it's going to come in. You know it's coming, but you can't really predict it, and no one really can. But especially when you have all that in reversed energy, it's really hard to know which direction it will come in, which is why you don't want to be constrained by anything, because if you are, it can lead to difficult energy that can kind of come out as accidents, or some kind of fall from grace type of energy. So, you are lucky. You're not. I don't see anything severe happening to you at all in May period. In fact, the reality of May is that it could just be a bit mundane, because you only have the 2 major arcana, and I usually look for like 3 or more for anything that's like hugely intense happening, whether that be good or bad. Excuse me, my voice has been leaving me all day. Like some of the other signs, it kind of seems that you're feeling a bit competitive this month as well, Virgo. Funnily enough, and it would be nice to do this healthily, like maybe run a 5K, do something that supports your health or your exercise regimen right now. But you can also be competing with your partner or your spouse. You can be competing with the person that your partner or spouse was or is cheating on you with. Not to freak any of you out with that. You already know it if it's happening. That's not something that surprises you this month. Don't worry about it if you don't already know, unless you know, you know what I mean? But there can be unhealthy competition here unless you choose to make it healthy. So like maybe do some kind of contest or competition. You could do really well there. As long as it doesn't become something very obsessive where you have to be so perfect and you end up losing through overreaching. Just fun, easy competition that is not too constrained. Maybe not like beauty contests or anything like that, because you don't want anything that's really deeply connecting you to something that would hurt your self-esteem or anything. Healthy competition is good, though. Because moving into the third week, you guys have Six of Wands reversed, ruled down by King of Wands reversed. Here's where I'm talking about, like, your ego is kind of locked up in a win-lose situation. You're not so much worried about the situation itself, but you want to be victorious, but it seems like you can't win regardless. Even if you sort of win per se in kind of conflicts and arguments in relationships or with family, you feel like you've lost. There's kind of a rock and a hard place. With King of Wands reversed rooted down underneath that, you feel like you can't think of anything to solve this problem. You feel like you can't create anything or use humor or use something creative and beautiful to fix this like you usually do. So I think that the best thing for you to do is kind of withdraw a little bit, give your final statements, and give the situation time to breathe, because everything needs to breathe for you. And things need to laugh. If you can't solve something with humor, Virgo, it can't be solved in May. Understand that very clearly. Humor is the only powerful thing for you in May. And it becomes more soon because, you're coming to that time where you'll get towards the end of your solar year and you'll start to feel drained. And then, come August and the beginning of September, you'll feel completely rejuvenated. But you're not really feeling that kind of drain yet, Virgos. I'm just saying, like, you have to start preparing for that and start creating things that can systematically function as you move into a time where you might be feeling a little bit more drained. For any of you Virgos and Sagittarius, I feel that perhaps a lot of my audience could have with this reading, I feel that Saturn retrograde might be hitting you, in which case do watch Sagittarius reading. At the end of the video, all the other signs will pop up and stuff, so you can check that in the playlist. But I talk a lot about the Saturn retrograde, and I would like to do a specific video about that. Not sure yet, though. But I talk a lot about that in Sagittarius's video, for you, those of you Virgos who have Sag placements or feel affected by the Saturn retrograde. As I was saying, humor solves it. If it doesn't, that person is not willing to allow things to be solved, period. So, fourth week Virgos, Three of Swords rooted down by the Hanged Man reversed. I think that you guys are actually the only sign to have the Hanged Man pop up. I haven't been seeing him a lot recently in personal readings so much, except for a few, but not many, or in my own experience with the cards. So you guys are in a different vicinity than most people right now. Your head is in a different place. Again, the Hanged Man and the Eight of Swords have a strong connection because they both represent being bound or restrained. Some of you, I don't want to say some of you could get arrested, but I can't ignore the possibility of being bound and restrained, and the first thing that comes to mind is like handcuffs or something. So don't do illegal things, I guess, in May, because you have a lot stronger chance of people catching on to that, and especially if people are vengeful around you, people can like turn you in. That's for such a small percentage, though. Only if you have some kind of very strong karmic lesson that you need to learn through being in the legal system, so, which I don't feel that a lot of you actually have. But maybe you feel, what's the word? There's a specific word for it. I can't think of it, but maybe you kind of feel in your circumstance that it's kind of like being in jail, or you feel arrested or confined so much in your circumstance that you feel like you can't escape. You have more ability than you realize to do so. And I'm not fearful for you guys. I don't feel that you come into a place where you can't escape. You've had the heartbreak, you've had the loss, you've had some kind of pain or even some kind of health problem that may have come from love or come from being with somebody. So make sure that you're being safe in all of your relations, because you attract in an energy like that sometimes during this period. People can just be very mindless about your feelings in general, and that makes you feel ill. That makes you feel very weak because you are so mindful of other people's feelings and other people's wants and needs and desires. And your central theme being the Four of Cups reversed gives you a situation where you do have to look at things from afar, where you do have to create distance, and you have to not be afraid to do so. Some Virgos have needed somebody so desperately for so long, or needed somebody to distract them from themselves. That often comes up with Four of Cups. You might be tempted to think about a time where you were distracted from yourself, where you didn't have to worry about the deeper parts of your you-ness, you know. But it's better to just accept it for what it is, Virgos, and then you very easily attract something that gives you something else to think about. But you can't really be in this paradigm, Virgos, you can't really lose track of yourself. None of the zodiac signs can. That's why I feel that everybody collectively is going so crazy, because for such a long time people didn't have to think so much about themselves, but it's become so mandatory and so necessary. One of the reasons that I started my channel is because I realized that shift had come, that people would suffer without having a connection to the deeper shadow parts of their own personality. So I have strived to help people to see that. I don't know if I've been successful, but I have tried. And more than anything, I just want you guys to laugh this month. That is your best medicine. That's why I'm going to kind of make this reading a little bit shorter, because I'm trying to think, can I think of some kind of random joke to make you guys get your mind off of things, because it might not even be the best month for like a lot of tarot or a lot of shadow work, because you're already there, you're already experiencing it. If it makes you feel comfortable, great, but if there's something about this reading or other people's reading that makes you feel like, oh my gosh, I didn't want to hear that, that doesn't feel healthy, that doesn't make me feel like I'm healing, don't be afraid to turn it off for a while, because you need to laugh more than anything. Maybe watch some like ridiculous parody videos on YouTube. You're on YouTube right now, you might as well do that right after you watch my video. But yeah, if you guys are worrying, just picture me, you know, looking horrible, first waking up in the morning. You know, I'm a Scorpio, I'm nocturnal, I'm not a morning person. In the Starbucks line, just wind blowing, me chasing after my dollar bills, hitting the barista in the face with my door. Lucky too that my coffee survived. You know, just picture that if you're feeling like you're having a struggle, Virgos, and pray that I don't have such experiences much more. So on that note, Virgos, you can click on the playlist in the top left-hand corner to see other signs. Check your sun, moon, rising sign if this doesn't quite resonate, or even if it did. You can book a private reading with me here as well, or subscribe to my channel. Much love to you guys, and hoping you an eccentric, humorous month filled with much benefic things for you. Bye.